The bond between a Pokemon and its trainer is truly something to behold. I found you, I fought against you, and I succeeded in capturing you. Do you know how much you mean to me, putting all the effort into our partnership? So obviously you'd swap it for a way cooler one given the chance. In-game trades are such a fun concept in Pokemon. And so I thought, hey, what would the roster you venture through Pokémon FireRed look like if you only used Pokemon you acquired via in-game trades? And the result is a team that might end up on a list. Can't wait! So this run is going to look a little interesting, as I've made some slight adjustments to the ROM in order to make this game run a little bit more interesting at the beginning. Typically, you can only get your first trade partner after getting past Cerulean City, but if you play this super special copy of FireRed, where you have the classic starter trio of Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and a Psychic Orphan, you can watch it basically get bludgeoned to mush in battle. This would basically be a death sentence in the usual map of Kanto, with nothing but struggles on the horizon if your team consisted of only an Abra. Thankfully though, in this world, we've moved these tiny cut trees from Route 2 all the way up to this house you usually can only access through Diglett Tunnel. And this minor alteration that I've done to this ROM means that we can now pick up our first teammate in this run, Mr. Mime. I feel uncomfortable. If we're assessing each trade off of multiple factors, some more subjective than others, then I think that this is a bit of an underwhelming trade. I really like the Abra line, and I've always found this questionable professional to be a little creepy. Also, when you compare it to Kadabra, albeit the latter is less powerful overall, the glass cannon build of the not even fully evolved Pokemon is much more enticing to me. However, there are some pros in the Mr. Mime category. Number one, in this game, being exclusive through the trade feature does give it a lot of points given how unique it is. And number two, psychic types in Kanto are never going to be anything other than pretty cracked. This is technically an illegal encounter to realistically rate at this point in the run, which you'll see why very soon, but that already becomes obvious when we start moving through the region. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I don't know, really. Every single bug trainer in Viridian Forest ends up being defeated with just a single attack from our Mystic Master, and I don't know, maybe Mr. Mime is an A-tier trade in the Kanto remakes. The immediate whiplash of a useless Abra to a powerhouse at this point in the game feels fantastic, and meant that the rematch against our rival went incredibly well. In fact, too well. This video is sponsored by Zen Market. Zen Market is a shopping service that simplifies buying anything from over 10,000 shops based in Japan. No language knowledge or Japanese address required. Like every other white dude in their mid-20s, I flew out to Japan last year for a few weeks and it was a fantastic time. A beautiful country with a storied history and too much to ever see and do. Look at this fish pogging out of his mind. But on top of exploring the country, I did indulge a little in the Akihabara area and visited a Pokemon Center or two in my time. There were so many cool figurines only found there, as well as Japanese versions of games I might have wanted to buy, which is made just as easy from wherever you find yourself in the world with Zen Market. Search for whatever you're looking for in stores like Rakuten or Mercari, add it to your basket, and when you check out, everything you buy gets consolidated into a single, well-packaged parcel at no extra shipping cost. With all the popular franchises from Japan, there's ample games, anime, manga, and figurines to find for you. But there's equally so many other products to choose from that'll spoil you and the 2 million other users. So click the link in the description to sign up to Zen Market and use the promo code Luca to receive 1,000 Zen points for free, roughly 1,000 yen or about $6.50, and find exactly what you want on Zen Market. Because I may have forgotten something crucial as we stepped up to Brock, I did not expect much if any strife against his specially incapacitated pair of rocks. Though during this fight, a truly horrifying opponent stood in our way. Our own goddamn Pokemon. While Geodude is defeated with little consequence, the second we reach level 11, our Mr. Mime manifests into a moody prepubescent, refusing to obey any of our calls a majority of the time. This could have potentially made Brock and his Onix a terrible adversary to try and take out, if not for the fact that it's Brock and an Onix. So thankfully his ace recognised the miserable life it led and just killed itself through confusion. Bit of a false alarm there, admittedly, though with the first gym badge, that completely ameliorates the lack of obeying and means that we can restart our fantastic momentum towards Cerulean City. Oh wait, no, that isn't the case. Traded Pokemon only start to obey you properly after getting the second gym badge in this game, which admittedly is a bit fair considering you're not meant to have this guy before then most of the time. Still, there weren't great vibes when trying to move through what should be pretty routine trainers in the early game, but I was still feeling positive heading forward. Has Brock always been there in this game? Make sure to like the video if you're enjoying it. What's this about? This surely isn't in the regular version of this game. Oh, Never mind then. Despite our struggles, we're able to persevere through the mandatory Mount Moon fights, albeit these ended up being very close in the end, which is even worse when you think about how the next two trainers are somewhat notorious stopgaps in a Kanto journey. I was fully intending to try and get to the next few trades before taking on Misty, but considering how our third fight against our rival went, plans had to change. We battled him repeatedly, again and again, except we almost never made it past his lead Pidgeotto, who could capitalize on our rude little shit's defiance by blinding it with sand. Even on the odd occasion where we did make it past his pet bird, we never prevailed past his pet rat. And that made me realize that we were going to need to beat Misty in a handicap fight for any chance of actual progress, which is easier said than done. Starmie, unlike Onyx, is a fantastic ace and a terrifying tribulation. With Water Pulse in both it and Staryu's moveset too, it would require a miracle for us to prevail. So it feels ever so convenient that Mr. Mime just seems to have a lot of answers for the early game. Seriously, for a Pokemon that's inaccessible until beating Misty, its options feel almost tailor-made for FireRed's early game. At level 22, we can learn Magical Leaf as a super effective answer to Misty's Water Shurikens, and we can learn it during the fight without having to overlevel prior. This doesn't make it a guaranteed win by any stretch, however. In reality, this becomes a fight of two halves. When we do land a hit, things are going great for us. When that frequently doesn't happen though, it's agony. This guy thinks he's so high and mighty at this point that in 18 turns of this fight, he only followed our instructions 4 times. It's a flippant little bastard, to be honest, as we lost repeatedly to Misty until even Mr. Mime realized how tiring this was. On our winning attempt, it decides to not only immediately wipe out Staryu with a critical hit, but upon learning Magical Leaf, that too slices through the competition in a single shot. It seriously got so annoyed with following directions that it decided to make this fight look fake. And I can only give it props for being such a non-team player. The vibes couldn't be worse. Nevertheless, with that victory in our rearview mirror, traded Pokemon will be much more obliged to follow instructions than what we've just had to deal with. So considering that we just endured the most obnoxious yet powerful partner Pokemon, alongside it immediately starting to outlevel the game due to the extra experience all these traded Pokemon get, it only feels right to let some other Pokemon get their shine. Thankfully, I planned for this pretty well with some choice captures, as we can start trading again once we make it out of Cerulean City. By sending over a lame Nidoran to this small child in the underground pass, we can get a way cooler Pokemon for our team. Nidoran. Well, you know, there's a logic to this one, which is cool. Depending on the game that you own, either Nidoran male or female is the more common encounter to find between the pair. 2 NPCs in these games will let you trade either the easier to find baby form or its evolution, in order to acquire the rarer counterpart of 2 very cool evolution lines. That does somewhat diminish the value of this, to be honest. I'd say that Mr. Mime is a better trade overall comparatively, yet we still have a great teammate here to ever put it below a B grade in my mind. If only we could find a trade to truly make us consider how much worse we could theoretically have it though. Oh yeah. That'll do. We've gone from a great trade to a decent one to an outright shameful one in Farfetch'd, as this trade fails on quite a few fundamental levels in my mind. First of all, this guy is wank. Farfetch'd has pretty awful base stats with nothing much to redeem it, and in a generation with a ubiquity of normal flying types, to be so much categorically worse than each one is impressive. This is also compounded by the fact that in order to receive this guy, you need to trade over a Spearow. Right, 2 things. Number 1, just back away from the trade deal if you ever find yourself in this spot. Fearow and Dodrio definitely vie for the top spot in this type combination, with pretty fantastic speed and attack. And number 2, dude, just like walk for 10 seconds. This trainer is so unbelievably close to Route 11 where you find a Spearow super regularly. Why would you even want to trade a Pokemon for this? Actually, no, I get why, but just put it in the box next time, man. The only, and I mean only, saving grace for Farfetch'd is that it's one of a kind to this trainer, meaning that there's some novelty to it that Pidgey and Spearow lack, unlike what our bird lacks, which is power, a trajectory, or a purpose, D-. With these 2 newbies though, we can mix up the run a bit more to assess how each teammate does in battle, not before streamlining our Nidoran's fighting capabilities though, as it's able to evolve into Nidorina for a solid boost. I mean, can you imagine anyone stopping this duo? Wait, you can. Like the rival fight on the SSN, who we end up losing to. Psycho Mantis. For some reason, I thought that these 2 would have it in them to take our rival down a peg or 2. Yet that was all but a pipe dream with some pretty severe disadvantages. Nidorina being weak to Kadabra, for 1, and Farfetch'd being a Farfetch'd, for 2. On reflection, this was really silly to do, considering that Nidorina doesn't learn any great moves via level up, so it's much more sensible to take it one further and evolve it into its final form, Nidoqueen. This changes our fortunes immediately in the following fight, as we dice through the formidable foes with our sudden powerhouse and her brilliant moveset, all the while Farfetch'd can keep a plucky position to try and pick scraps in the fight where needed. So from this, I figured we were pretty in the clear for the next major portion of the game with Nidoqueen. And while that's true, I'm certain it would have been the case. For as damning an appraisal I gave earlier, it turns out I was far too cruel to our newest bird, as Farfetch'd evidently stands for F*** all representatives for envisioning the challenge hitherto dingus. We had a pretty simple plan for Lieutenant Surge. Take Farfetch'd as far as it can go by softening up the Voltorb most likely, then let Nidoqueen topple the rest as a Titan. In reality, a chef ready to cook immediately hit the field on turn 1, as a lucky sequence of Fury attacks immediately bowl out Voltorb, before Pikachu stands before the ire of our Duck's Fury attack to falter in a single turn as well. Expectedly, this hot streak finished on Raichu, but when I considered how little we'd get with our lead, I was somewhat surprised by the layup that it gave to our Monarch. This continued on after traversing through Rock Tunnel all the way to Celadon City's Gym 2. While the poison typing gives us some options with Nidoqueen, we never ended up needing it in the end. With our newly learnt Fly in our arsenal, combined with a lucky dodge of Stun Spore from Erica's lead Victory Bell, we had a semblance of an aerial assassin to mow through the competition one after the other. I am shocked that Farfetch'd turned up when I did not expect it to. Truly a shocking sequence of events that means I need to reconsider the grade I gave it. Maybe not, but it's still cool though. And with these two pulling their weights in their respective 3rd and 4th gyms, now Kanto gets to open up and we can let the rest of the trade encounters take the reins of the second half. Was that Lapras there the whole time? Does it need like help or water or something? Oh wait, hang on. This Lapras is reminding the audience at home that only 10% of people watching are subscribed to my YouTube channel. That just seems so out of pocket and strange and... Well, clearly I'm just being forgetful. With the Pokeflute in our arsenal, clearing aside the Snorlaxes means that we have much greater ability to maneuver around the region and pick up the last few exclusive trades on the mainland of Kanto, which leads to 2 more exclusive Pokemon to pick up. First things first, we need their trading counterparts, which are both conveniently obtainable on Route 6 with the Super Rod. In no time at all, we're able to finish up a Poliwhirl followed by a Psyduck that will fill out our team even more and swiftly navigate to the trainers in desperate need of a trade. One of these is only back in Cerulean City, where our faux frog is given up for a violation of the Geneva Convention. Well, Jinx is somewhere between slightly off-putting and an abomination to mankind. But it's not over yet, as after evolving our Psyduck, that primes this Pokemon for another trainer who kinda gives us in its place. What is this? The Handsome contest? Dude, these encounters, man. I mean, they can't be in the F tier considering how these are the only ways to acquire these two, but the vibes are currently way off. Lickitung, fortunately, carries enough of that goblin energy to go from Freak all the way to Charming, and then slightly back around to Freak again. But Jinx, man, Jesus Christ, is this one of the worst Pokemon designs in the series? It doesn't look like anything, really. I mean, back in the day, it at least looked like a former Canadian Prime Minister, yet those days are behind the pair of them, and so now it's just some confusing woman. To its credit, I feel inversely about its stats and typing as I do its design. Ice Psychic is fantastic in the Kanto games, with tremendous speed and special attack. Lickitung though, I mean, you do have that tongue. Just nothing else? Rough stats, a type that's so easily superseded by plenty of Pokemon in the region. And though its rarity makes up for something, I'd argue you could do pretty okay with just keeping Golduck for the most part, or Slowbro if you're in Leaf Green. That trade is much worse by comparison. So if I have to give these guys grades, maybe like an ew and an should suffice for now. But let's see how each one does in a major fight apiece. Yeah, okay, that one does make sense. Jinx barely needs to blink for it to be able to absolutely topple everything in the game that it has an advantage over. Like, we're going into Koga quite a few levels below his ace, and that still doesn't save Weezing from being obliterated in a single shot thanks to Psychic. For as off-putting a design I might find it, with its rarity, power, and options in this game, it's actually kind of sick in Generation 3. Now how's it looking for Lickitung? I mean, I shouldn't get too surprised, but sadly, Lickitung doesn't really get much of a leg up at any point in this game. It is too slow and too weak to dominate any opponent, which in this case was our rivals Growlithe and Silphco. Mercifully, our own team had started to fill out nicely to cover any weaknesses in the fight as backup, but I wasn't going to just leave our Lickitung in the dust. Who better for it to prove itself against than debatably the toughest gym leader in the region, Sabrina. Prior to this fight, I did learn of Lickitung's capabilities in its moveset, as normal types for whatever reason can just learn anything. Breathing fire, summoning lightning, and seismic rumbles of the earth are pretty rudimentary for a Pokemon that looks like a nonce. By this point in the run too, we could massively expand our movesets with all the possible TMs too. To get the really good ones, you need to gamble and or trade in your money, which thankfully my pump and dump scheme of Luca Coin hastens how much time it takes for us to get the TM for Shadow Ball. So despite the poor impression you'd expect from this goober, at level 43, Lickitung is at the very least able to show off a valiant effort. Super effective Shadow Balls chip away at Sabrina's Kadabra and Mr. Mime, all the while they're able to retaliate in kind with painful Psybeams. We're put on the brink of death by the time we're able to bring down her Venomoth, so we can take solace in Lickitung bringing Sabrina down to her ace. And then Alakazam goes for Future Sight before Lickitung clutches up massively with a super effective Shadow Ball. It's crazy how these runs go, man. What else am I meant to think of these guys now, other than appreciate them to some extent? It's been a stupidly fun run so far, which has 2 more gym badges to go. So let's get our final trades for the team, all of which are accessible on Cinnabar Island, and all of which, well, let's just say they're not the best uses of everyone's time. Trade number 1 is debatably the least useless, as if you've recruited a Raichu in your journeys, you're able to swap that bad boy out for this trainer's Electrode, or as I might prefer to call it, Raichu but worse. Ridiculously fast at the expense of less power, a design that is way less endearing than Raichu's, and considering that you can easily get one by evolving a commonly found Pikachu at the power plant, the same location that you find static Electrodes, this is a C- trade at best. But if you thought that was an incredibly pointless detour for a trade, then Tangela gets to come in and wiggle? Is that what it does? You receive this bundle of joy by trading a Venonat, which, while I have a huge soft spot for Tangela, is objectively the worst Pokemon line in Fire Red and Leaf Green, especially in the late game when grass types aren't as useful. Also, you only access this guy in the grass patch before reaching Cinnabar Island. This couldn't be a worse waste of time for you. Well, a worse waste of time except for the final Pokemon in this run, as the third and final trade on this cursed island is someone asking for a Ponyta. And Ponyta, in the Generation 1 remakes, is only accessible on one island, in the Sevi Islands. This is not good. First things first, it means we have to battle Blaine in order to even gain access to this area, which, in keeping with the general limitations of the run, isn't the easiest with our newest teammates. In fairness, Electrode puts in a shift, as Light Screen greatly neuters the Pyromaniac's offense. Tangela was also there, but once we managed to scramble a victory past him, then we're able to go to one island and pick up our Fiery Foal. But that's not where this ends, as we now have to do a really fun side plot that I totally wanted to do this whole time and not just play the main story. We get to go to 2 Island, challenge a bunch of bikers, go looking for a random child, meet a president. Then once we're mercifully past this pointless problem, with the requested Pokemon in our arsenal, who is it that we receive in its place? A goddamn seal. Not a cool Pokemon, not a rare Pokemon. A Pokemon I could have found in 2 minutes across the ocean from Cinnabar, meaning that this amounts to a sweet load of diddly shit. So I was massively tempted to be harsh to this final trade in the run, and let it be known that the seal line is an F tier trade in Fire Red. But then I thought about it a little bit. Have I ever willingly used a seal or dugong before? Nope, not once. And so despite the ease of acquiring this Pokemon outside of a trade, considering that you usually have a water type at this point to nullify its necessity, in this run, Dugong paradoxically becomes incredibly useful and necessary. I mean, the fight against Giovanni has to be the perfect proof of this. We hang 10 and wipe out all of his team one after the other without any resistance. I never would have thought to use it at any point, albeit Water Ice makes for a fantastic combination, and at the very least, makes Dugong a discount Lapras that can still make a splash. So I have to eat crow here about all the Pokemon really. Whether the Pokemon are one of a kind rare or incredibly easy to stumble across, I end up just being pretty charmed by any and every teammate. No matter the ostensible shortcomings that you might find, this team ends up being quite cool to work with plenty of options to take out opponents like our rival, and I was feeling incredibly confident as the final hurdles of this game approached. I'm sorry, what's going on here? Oh. Well, look everybody, Ash Ketchum has appeared in this game. I don't quite remember this from the originals, but it looks like we've got an exhibition fight before the final 5 trainers. Oh my god. Alright lads, it's DEFCON 1. We are absolutely fucked. We've just got to try and prevail, and maybe we can just squeeze out a win and... oh. Okay. I think my copy of Fire Red is broken. Cool Easter egg though. Anyway, all that stood in our way were the final 5 fights of this run. The Elite Four and Champion. Unfortunately, we can only bring 6 Pokemon with us, so we're a bit spoilt for choice. I think I have to bring the 4 Pokemon only found by trade. And Dugong already has won me over as a fitting teammate. But that just leaves us with these 3. I just don't know who to bring between them. Ooh, problem solved. Now let's take these gifted gremlins to the Hall of Fame. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Here are our 6 Goobers to take on the league. I figured that with their relative power level, probably doesn't make sense to level them past Lorelei's ace. Makes it more interesting too. We'll see how it goes. First up, Lorelei, the only other Jinx aficionado in this region. Thankfully, I'm pretty sure that because most of our team is water types, and we have an electric type move with a pretty powerful psychic Pokemon, I'm pretty confident. I guess the question is, how much does this do? Yeah, that'll do. Ooh, straight to the big guns. I don't know how much it will do now, but I'm hoping... Actually, no, the play's psychic, I think, because if I get a special defense drop, then I think we're in a really good spot. I'm hoping this does about a third. Ooh, barely a quarter. Damn. Pretty good damage. Okay. Well, let's hope Thunderbolt kills then. Come on, come on, come on. Nice, nice. Okay. I don't think that you can take even a single Thunderbolt. Yeah, no. It is currently the Mr. Mime show. Oh, maybe this is the end of the line? Ah, how unfair, man. Who do I go with now? I don't really know. Let's go for Disable. Really? Good start, Lickitung. Let's try it again. Thank you. Thank you ever so kindly, bro. I don't think Shadow Ball gets the kill. Hang on, let's... Big brain here. I know it seems stupid. We do a little bit of chip damage. Yep. Because now, Shadow Ball now definitely gets the kill. Oh, come on, man. Hey, how's it going, everyone? So in this bit, I was trying to do something with Jinx. I don't remember what I was doing. But just know it was a waste of time. And that's it. Oh, big brain play here. You might try and forget what you've done, Slowbro, but I don't think Farfetch is taking any prisoners here. Oh my god, it doesn't kill. Slash. And all that's left is an abomination. Odds aren't looking too great. If not for Dugong. I didn't factor this in. Hey everybody. Hi, it's me again. What's even the goddamn point? Bro, you seriously need to lock in. Right, we're doing something different. Oh, now you go for Ice Punch. Oh, it all paid off in the end. You die here, but, you know. Wait, we outspeed? Damn. That was a waste of time. Bruno Bud, I've got to be real with you. I have a date tonight and Lorelei took up so much of my time. Can we just wrap this up real quick? Thanks, bro. I knew I could always count on you. Now, I'm pretty sure that I could just roll over Agatha with Jinx and Mr. Mime. I'm feeling a little bit goofy. Doesn't bode well. So, yeah. Yeah, so I could just try and instantly kill it with a stab psychic. Instead, I'm going with this little guy because Shadow Ball should surely pierce through this double team strat. There's no way this backfires. That was less than I would have wanted. This is getting increasingly worse with every passing moment, actually. Uh-oh! Okay. Kind of hoping we'd be doing a little bit more damage. How much does this do? It's alright. Okay, that's less alright. Okay, plan C, everybody! You just got mogged, mate, by a far-fetched. I've just got mogged, conversely. Come on, you don't get confused at any point. Okay. There we go. I think this is not looking great. Never mind. Farfetch the goat. Oh. It's okay. It's important to think positive at this point. We are so f***ed. Okay, maybe being a little silly with it was not the correct play. However, if we can just get through Gengar without any of the psychic types, I think we can correct course. Come on, lick a tongue. Lock in, man. Lick in, even. Oh, there we go. The perfect counter. Yes, there we go. All according to plan. I do think I concoct some of the best Pokemon plays this side of YouTube. Right, secret power. Come on. It's fine. It's all good. Not even panicking at all. Maybe Lickitung and Farfetch'd weren't necessarily up to it, so let's just steamroll for it, shall we? Good retaliation. Do think actually I want to maybe keep Jinx. I think Nidoqueen's got this. Good dodge. Big earthquake coming up. Just got to live a Ninetail. Amazing. I think we would have lived two of them. And you don't live this one. Oh, okay. Actually, I was wrong. Ah, hard red. Should have just gone for the bite. It's fine. We outspeed for some reason. Don't really know how that works. And we get the flinch. Am I holding the quick claw? No, I'm just the greatest Nidoqueen of all time. You are a bit of a problem, though. This is the end of Nidoqueen, but pretty good damage all in all. Thanks for coming, Nidoqueen. Oh, you outspeed. Uh-oh. Oh. Okay. That's not good. Oh, dear. Okay, you're going to go for Nightmare. I just have to hope that we just wake up. No, you're not. Never mind. Oh! Turn one, wake up. Easy. Piece of piss. Oh! Incredible damage. That was so clutch, actually. Well, I was pretty arrogant there, and I don't think I deserve to win. But Mr. Mime kind of proven itself to be the GOAT Pokemon. That's halfway through, though, so could be worse. Alright, I was pretty stupid doing that, so against Lance at least. Gonna be a bit more locked in. Bring it on, Dragon Tamer. I wouldn't have been sure if it killed. I'm pretty sure this kills. Yeah, oh, okay, the crit is just BM, Mr. Mime. You are hell-bent on getting this run done. don't think I really need Mr. Mime for anything else. So let's just see how we do here. Wait. Hang on. Let me cook. I cannot be left in the kitchen for too long. But I think I have a plan. Dugong's time to shine, baby. Well, I think we've won. Because even if we don't get the kill here, which we do, so it doesn't even matter. I don't know if we insta-kill here, but maybe. Why? Lance, bro. I want it to be an interesting fight, man. Oh, okay. Never mind. Didn't get the kill. Well, Dugong, you did a fantastic job. You are the GOAT. Never mind. Never should have lost any faith, man. I am truly a Pokemon master. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you around. What the fuck? It better not be him. What the fuck, man? This fucking piece of shit. I am going to make Dinkles pay for this. After I have the curry that I want some curry. Okay. You bastard son of a bitch. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to put you in the grave, Dinkles. The music is so calamitous, and rightly so. Because the worst thing that could have ever happened has just happened. But we got 6 little bastards, and I think that we can, even with the level advantage that he's got, completely wipe him out. Pretty easy start, I think, with Dugong. You fucker. Sand attack on the champion team is such bullshit, man. It's all good, though, because we don't miss. Too easy. That's one down. Ooh, why? Right on. Are you stupid? I think he's stupid. Bro literally inted. He's so tilted. He's just given up. Ooh, that could be a bit more of a problem. The issue with you is that I think you use Sleep Powder as well as Giga Drain. I don't know which one you're going to go for. Do I see much use for Dugong in the rest of this fight? I'd like our other 5 more, I think. It's done the distance. Yeah. And it hits. That's amazing. There we go. I don't know how much this does, but it will have done enough. Dugong is the GOAT, I've decided, actually. I know it's a seal, but it's the GOAT. Alakazam. I think I know what to do. Slow you down. That sound attack did nothing, bro. Let's go for one more. Don't kill. Nice. Oh my god, the crits, man. I had such a low opinion of Dugong. But not even that low. I had a nothing opinion on Dugong before this run started. And now, bro's popping off. I think I'll try and rest. That's good. That's good. Okay. Right. It's super slow. Ooh, did not factor that in. Alright, Farfetch'd, you were pretty poor trade in my mind. But I think you can take down Alakazam with the assist from our friendly animal. I forgot what Dugong was. Okay. I promise you, I'm not cheating. I just downloaded some fun ROM hacks. Right. Arcanine. I don't think this kills, but it should do the best damage we've got here. Nice. Good tank of the flamethrower. And very good damage as well. So long as we're not burnt, we should be fine. Okay. We got lucky. Sorry, I don't mean to yawn, Dinkles, but it's 5v1. So maybe someone's going to get a little bit goofy with it. Not much I can do about that, though, Nidoqueen. Sorry, bro. First things first. Decent chip damage. Ah, well, that's no fun if we just win when you miss a hydro pump. Hang on. I see the vision. Never mind. Okay. Let me try that one more time. Okay. Here we go. Now we do chip damage, which will not get the kill and will not cause them to heal. That was more than I expected. Let's try that one more time. Okay, well, now I'm just stupid. I didn't know you'd heal there. Perfect. We go down here. And so that might seem terrible, but actually, it gives way for our true ace of this run to finish the fight. Because when it's all said and done, we can agree that Lickitung was the MVP. You know, when he did that thing. Yeah. And that's why we can win with our traded Pokemon, all because of Lickitung. Son of a bitch, why did you heal again? 3 times, man. 3! Alright, Lickitung. We've got a... Okay. This is not... This isn't... You tank that, right? This didn't go to plan. And like I always said, Mr. Mime is the MVP of the team, proven time and time again. Because with this kind of firepower, you wouldn't think anything else could ever be the MVP. Well, it's a terrible day for Rain, but our team, without any qualms or concerns, are now the Kanto champions. All perfectly calculated. Well, that was fucking stupid, man. Jesus.